Okay, so now we're going to go into the reasons as to why commitment is so important, right? And the key of commitment is something that you definitely want to get yourself as soon as possible on this road that you're on to becoming an entrepreneur. And so, with the key of commitment, the powerful thing about this, the reason for why it's so important is because, like we said in the previous videos, now we know what commitment is. It's something that helps us to restrict that freedom of action, and it's also something that gives us that devotion through that spiritual connection and cements that. So the reasons for why commitment is so important is because, number one, on your journey when you get started out, the first thing is, I've seen this time and time again, where people will not make a commitment, and so from not making a commitment, they find it very easy to go back against what it is that they said that they were going to do. So a lot of people, for example, make a very small and the lowest amount of commitment because the question that they ask themselves is, what's the minimum that I can put down so that I can get out the maximum? That's the question that they're asking themselves. What's the minimum that I can put down so that I can get out the maximum? And really, that's not a great question, because the place where this comes in, and it's very damaging for people, is things like people reading the books of the 4-hour work week. When you read something like the 4-hour work week, as much as Tim Ferriss put out a great concept and an idea that hooked people in to want to read a book about how can I work every single week for 4 hours only and get this amount of money back, it gets people into a mindset of, you can have passive income instantly like that. You can become an investor instantly and go move through all of the cash flow quadrants. Like, it's not realistic, and it's only going to put you into a gambler's mindset instead of a mindset of this is a sure thing and you're becoming a business owner and investor. So with the commitment piece, it's like most people have that mindset of, okay, let's work smart instead of working hard, when really what it wants to be is that you want to have both. You want to have a mindset of both. I don't believe that you should only work hard, because that's stupid, because then you're going to end up just becoming a slave and not getting anything in return. What you really want to have is a mindset of, how can I work smart and how can I work hard? And when you put the two together, that's when you can allow yourself to get and receive the most in returns. So it's the same thing with when people are making a commitment, and commitment through action is one way that you can commit, for sure. It's like you take lots of action, and through that taking of action, now you feel like, well, I put in all of that work, so I don't want to go back. Another way that we can commit, we're going to go through the best commitment methods later on and exactly how you can be utilizing them. But another way that we can commit is through committing with your money. And so what a lot of people do that I find that come to me, they say that, yeah, I've actually tried to reach financial freedom before, but it didn't work out for me. And when we dig deep into the reason why, it's like, well, how much did you invest to get started out in your business? Because you had a previous business, is what you're saying. Yeah, so I got started out in my business, and I put down like, 50 to 100 pounds to buy some products. And then after 3 months, the business didn't work out. It was really terrible. And I got scammed pretty much. It was some pyramid scheme. I'm like, no surprise, no fucking shit, because you did not put in a amount that was enough for you to go all in with it and to commit, because there was no fear. It was all hope. It was all this positivity, this toxic positivity of basically promising you everything, where the price wasn't substantial enough for you to receive the enough amount of value for you to actually have a genuine business. Because when you compare what a genuine business is in terms of a startup cost, look online, look at Google, it literally says the average business in the UK, it might be different in the US, so search it in the US as well, but I know for the UK, the average business takes around about £27,000 in startup capital to start the business. Never mind into continue the business running, but just to start the business, it takes 27,000. So if it's taking 27,000 to start the business, and you're thinking to yourself, I can get into a business for maybe 50 to 100 pounds, and that's going to allow me enough to be able to start the business and become a millionaire overnight. Like, that's just stupid thinking. Even if it's a millionaire in 3 months, stupid thinking. It's unrealistic, completely. And here's the thing. I believe that we can have unrealistic goals, but the unrealistic goals that we want to be goals that are going to be for no time horizon, right? So if you're going to have something that you want to achieve and expect over 3 months, then that has to be realistic because you're putting in a time frame. And if you continue messing up on the time frames, then automatically you're going to start feeling like a loser instead of feeling like a winner. And when you have that feeling of a loser, you start acting like a loser and you don't get the results that you're supposed to get. So with the commitment piece, right, instead of asking yourself that question, which most people are programmed to ask by becoming employees and just working on the minimum, instead you want to have the entrepreneur's mindset and think, how can I put in the maximum with my time, with my energy, with my effort, everything? And this is so powerful because when you think of the opposite of that now, you are no longer able to step out of what you're doing because you've got so much skin in the game. It's like there are people who back 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago when like McDonald's was franchising, Starbucks was franchising, and all these people would have to get into business by literally remortgaging their house and making a huge sacrifice, because a lot of the people who have those franchises, they didn't start out as millionaires. They were people who were just your average families and they were getting pitched to, and from there they would want to remortgage their houses to start their businesses. I mean, there's a great movie that I'd highly recommend watching. It's called The Founder, and you literally see the target audience that he went for was families. So this is the type of sacrifice that people would make so that they could have that high level commitment, and just from doing so would pour all of their love, their energy, their attention to that one business, and then from that they'll be able to receive all out and have the certainty that we're not going anywhere, so eventually it's going to succeed. And that's why you see like so many Starbucks, so many McDonald's, they don't see them close down, really. It's not just because of the brand, the franchise, it's because of the way that it's set up so that people make a genuine commitment first before going forwards with it. So you have to start viewing commitment as one of those things where it is going to be your savior. It's going to be the thing that keeps you in the game. And I'm gonna go into like an analogy later on about how people do this in their everyday life. It's just that not everybody sees to do it in business, and partly the reason why is because of all the bullshit that goes on in the social media space and online digital space of people saying that you can start a business, because there's no experts that actually teach you these things. Anybody can go on social media and start posing as an expert in business, and they're coming up and saying that you can start a Shopify store for like $10 to $15 per month. It's things like that that is so freaking damaging to people because they don't understand what it takes to succeed, right? And they're just being lured in because of price. And if you cheap out right now on your success by basically saying that if you cheap out on your business, you cheap out on your success. Because think about it like this, there is a price to your success. Imagine if somebody said to you, in order to have the God life, where you can have the perfect family, you have the perfect wife, the perfect husband, the perfect children, you could have the perfect business, you could have the perfect lifestyle where you get to travel, you get to do all these things, and all you've got to do right now is give me some money, and in return, you get the life. If you gave them 50 to 100 pounds, do you really think that they're going to give you all of that in return? Or do you think they're just going to go to the next person who's willing to offer 200 pounds for that? And so you have to start thinking to yourself, as a competition in the marketplace, what is the market price for that lifestyle? And the way that you find out the market price for that lifestyle is you literally go around and start interviewing people to figure out what's the truth. What was it that took that person to having 10K months consistently? What was it that took that person to having 50K months consistently? And you'll find that the common denominator with all of them is that they all paid a huge price. Whether they paid that price in terms of their time, whether they paid that price in terms of their action, whether they paid that price in terms of their money, they paid a huge price. And so there is a price towards your success. There's a price for your success. And you have to pay that price for your success upfront and in full. If you don't pay it upfront and in full, then what ends up happening is that you discount the success. So instead of having the dream wife, instead of having the dream husband, the dream family, the dream location lifestyle, You settle for something that isn't necessarily everything that you wanted. And so the great thing that I learned from a book called Happy Money is that whenever somebody offers you something to make a certain level of commitment, and they're saying that that's the amount for the price of success, what you want to do just so that you stay secure, right, and having that positive relationship with money, is you want to ask yourself not a question that most people do when they get given a price: how can I haggle to make this person want to take less money from me? Ask yourself the opposite question, which is, how can I pay more? How can I convince this person that I should pay more for what it is that they're asking me for? Because I see the value and I feel like I'm robbing you, so this isn't necessarily fair, and I'm going to get hit by this in the future. I don't want that to happen. So can I pay more? And then from paying more, I actually get more in return. That's the type of mentality that you want to start having. And the reason why is because of that next level commitment that it gives you to unlock that success that you get to have sooner. And the higher price that you pay, more committed, not only do you unlock a higher level success, but you can retain that success as well for a longer period of time, because you're going to stay stuck within what you're doing. Nobody can remove you from it because of the restriction of freedom to action, and you are going to stay loyal and faithful towards whatever you're doing. And by simply being in your opportunity and doing the thing that you want to do, you can extract the maximum amount. Because we're going to go into like the science of going all into one thing, but if you are just doing one thing and you're not focusing on anything else, all your attention is just towards one thing, that gives you the maximum amount of potential to be able to receive the maximum. Because now it's not like you've got all your eggs in different baskets, you've got all your eggs in one basket, and so those eggs can hatch from one basket and pay you out. But the problem with people putting things into lots of different baskets is that they never actually get the chance to get paid out, because it takes time to get paid out the certain amount that you need to, because money follows mastery. Money follows mastery, and mastery is and it's not just mastery of anything, it's mastery of high income skill sets. If you want to become somebody who's wealthy, you've got to master high income skill sets, which takes a certain period of time. What they actually show is that mastery takes about 10,000 hours to get to that level. So if it takes 10,000 hours to get to that level, that's literally around about 5 to 7 years if you're doing 4 hours a day. So if it's taking 5 to 7 years, if you did it in multiple things, then that could be 40 years until you get any money out, which is why most people don't actually get the results that they want online. 90% of people don't get the results in business because they are so focused on so many different things. But if you focused on just one thing, one opportunity, went all in with that and committed to that one thing, then the maximum amount of time that it could take for you to receive an abundance of money would be 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years for the maximum amount of time. Can you, is that something that you feel like is fair? Is that something that you feel like, if it was guaranteed, where after 5 to 7 years, you could get out every single month, 5-figure months, 6-figure months, absolutely guaranteed, is that not something that you would want to take as a deal? And if it is, then you are somebody who understands the importance, the value of commitment. So yeah, I understand that I probably went on a little bit of a rant with that video, but it's really important you guys understand this. And if there's any video in this entire in this entire program that you can watch and rewatch this one for real. Send this to your friends. This is the one that you all need to like really cement on, because I believe this is probably the biggest thing that is holding people back right now, who are already classifying themselves as entrepreneurs, but are not getting results and are blaming it on their opportunities. And so they just hop from one to the other. I believe this is the main reason out of everything. You know, I've seen people who come to me and I'm like, yeah, I'm impressed. You got the key of spiritual connection. I'm impressed you got the key of intellect. I'm impressed you've got the key of courage. It is rare for me to find someone who has got the key of commitment down to a T. And when I find that person, every single time, you can see that their results are just so much better than everybody else's. They don't even necessarily even need all the time to have the other keys. Those are great in addition, but this is the one that gets you results every single time. So rewatch this video and really take as many notes as possible and take action on what it is that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next few videos on some of the commitment methods and how you can be implementing that. I'll see you there.